Let me tell you about the strawberries the astronauts eat in space. They're almost like fresh strawberries, not like those dehydrated ones you might remember from when you were a kid at camp. We're talking about food that retains up to 97% of its nutritional value and lasts up to 25 years. Yes, I said that right, 25 years. Hi, I'm Carol. Welcome back to Almost 2 Acres. Today we're talking about something that just might revolutionize how you feel about food preservation. We're talking about freeze drying, or as food scientists call it, lyophilization. Don't worry, I won't make you pronounce that.
Now you might be thinking, great, another food preservation method that's probably complicated and expensive. Well, you're half right. It is a bit of an investment, but complicated not once you understand what's actually happening. By the end of this series, you may know more about freeze drying than most people who actually own the machine. So what exactly is freeze drying? At its core, it's a dehydration process, but not like anything you've seen before. Instead of blasting food with hot air like a dehydrator, freeze drying does something almost magical. It freezes your food completely solid, then creates a deep vacuum around it, and finally applies just a tiny bit of heat. The result? The ice in your food doesn't melt. It goes straight from solid ice to water vapor, skipping the liquid phase entirely. This process is called sublimation, and you've actually seen it before. Ever notice how ice cubes in your freezer shrink a bit over time, even though they never melt? That's sublimation in action. Freeze dryers just do it really, really fast and efficiently. Now, this isn't some newfangled kitchen gadget invented by influencers. This technology has serious street cred. It was developed during World War II to preserve blood plasma and penicillin for soldiers. Think about that. When lives were on the line, this is the technology they turned to. Later, NASA refined it for space missions because astronauts needed food that was lightweight, nutritious, and wouldn't spoil over long missions. The first time I saw something come out of my freeze dryer, I was a bit puzzled at the process, but quite happy. I'd seen other videos, but didn't quite believe it until seeing it for myself. Now I'm hooked. Here's why freeze drying is such a high-level preservation method. First, nutrition retention. While canning can destroy 40 to 60% of heat-sensitive vitamins and dehydrating can wipe out about half your nutrients, freeze drying preserves up to 97% of the original nutritional value. That's because it uses cold temperatures instead of heat, so those delicate vitamins and minerals stay intact. Second, the shelf life is absolutely bonkers. We're talking 25 years when properly stored. Your canned goods, maybe 5 years max. Your dehydrated food, about a year. Freeze-dried food can literally outlast your mortgage. Third, and this is my favorite part, when you rehydrate freeze-dried food, it comes back to life. The texture, the flavor, even the color, it's all there, almost like it was fresh. Compare that to canned green beans that have the texture of, well, let's just say they've seen better days. You may be thinking, this sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? Well, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, freeze drying preserves food. It doesn't sterilize it. If your chicken had salmonella before you freeze dried it, it's still going to have salmonella after. The process just puts those microorganisms into a kind of a suspended animation. This is why proper food handling and preparation are absolutely critical, and we'll cover that in detail in a later video. Second, yes, it's an investment, both in terms of the initial cost of the machine and the ongoing energy costs. But when you consider that you're essentially buying decades of food security, the math starts to make sense for a lot of families. In my series of 6 videos to arrive soon, I will be going deep into everything you need to know about freeze drying. We'll explore the science behind why it works, what equipment you need and how to choose it, what foods work best and which ones you should absolutely avoid, how to prepare your food for optimal results, troubleshooting when things go wrong, and finally, how to store your freeze-dried food for maximum shelf life. So if you're into food security, emergency preparedness, or just want to preserve your garden harvest in the most nutritious way possible, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. We've got an amazing learning journey ahead.
What questions do you have about freeze drying? Drop them in the comments. Until next time, Keep learning, keep preserving, and above all else, until we meet again, let's get growing.